This is the ribbed spider web stitch. You can see I worked it right here on this button, and now we're going to work it right here. So I am going to bring my needle up on the outer edge of this button and then down in the center, and just eyeball it and get it close to the center. I'm going to be making an odd number of spokes around the edge of the button. This sets up the rest of my stitches for this ribbed spiderweb stitch. They're all coming up around the side and going down right into the same center hole. This is a great stitch to add just a little bit of texture or dimension to an area of your stitching. It's great for an object that's a circle already on the fabric, like these buttons, or it would look really great as the center of a flower, or just when you want to add geometric shape to your stitching project. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have our 7 stitches. Now I'm going to bring my needle up just in the center of one of those stitches between 2 of the spokes. Now for the rest of the time that I'm stitching, my thread and needle will be above the fabric. So it's like you're weaving with the thread now. And I'm going to take my needle under the first spoke. Now for all the rest of my stitches, I'm going to be going under 2 stitches at the same time. So now I'm going back under that same spoke, and now the second one too. And I just pull, and as I'm pulling, I just shift that thread to the center. Now you can see it went under this stitch, so I'm going back under that one, or the spoke, and under the next spoke. So I'm doing 2 at once. Pull it through and just slide it up. So I'm going back under this spoke and then under the next one. Back under this one and then under the next. This is what starts to make the wrapped spokes, like you can see right here. Going back through them starts that wrapped look. And back under and under the next one. And you are just going to keep going around and around exactly like this until you have stitched as much as you want it to be stitched. So you can see for my yellow one, I left a little on the outer edge. I still wanted to see some of the color of that button. I'm going to keep stitching this exactly this way, and then I will show you how you can add beads on the edges and how to finish the stitch. Okay, so I've stitched to the outer edges of my ribbed spider web stitch, and I'm ready to end this one. So I'm just going to take my needle and thread down through the fabric, and I will end this stitch like I do any other stitch. You can either tie a small knot, or what I like to do is just wind my thread and needle through several of the previous stitches, and then you have a finished ribbed spider web stitch. Now that you've finished your ribbed spider web stitch, you might want to add beads onto the little ends of the spokes. So what you would do is just bring your needle up, pull it through at the end, and then grab a little bead. I'm using a size 6 seed bead. Put it on the needle, and then I'm just going to take it down close to where I came up. I can do that at the outer edge of each of the spokes. You could do this with a sequin as well, in the same way. If you wanted to add a little cluster to the middle section, bring your needle up in the center and maybe add 3 beads. Make it a little bit more raised. All 3 on the needle like that. Take it back down close to where you came up. It doesn't have to be in the same spot. Pull it through, and then just, you can arrange the beads how you want them to look. You have a nice little cluster there. And that's how you add seed beads to the ends of your ribbed spiderweb stitch.